Yo, Wesley, what's up, man? Fizz, thanks to the GOAT, Chris, Chuck, Ileana, Duke, what is good? Eddie, Eddie, what about you, man? Eddie, what is up? Zach, I love you, bro. I love you, man. Trade in the trees, Ryan. Got my boy Eddie. What's going on? Yo, Alex, Professor, Tramadol, Pesh, yo, Fizz. All right, guys. AMC. AMC. Man, what a beautiful. What do we got here? What do we got? 40% from the bottom. 40%, dude. Oh man, this is huge. Um I mean, really from the last video that I posted, we were talking about Ethereum Classic, the correlation between the two. That is the title of this video is called cycle rotation. Reason being, well, we are currently shifting over to the meme stock sector, and we're starting to see that happen, man. We're picking up on volume. Volume is looking good. Let's take a look at this on the PFV indicator. Okay, you're starting to see that little hump coming through. All right, and we got ourselves a cross here. On the 1 hour, we can see a full cross. If you keep zooming out, okay, we're getting there. We're getting very close, okay? The one I use here the most is the 4 hour. I think the 4 hour, you can really go all the way back here and see that on the PFV indicator. We're getting very close to that volatility, that next volatility zone that happens to be late January going into February. So that's good news, man. That's good news. This is what we wanted. This is exactly what we were looking for. Also, spots indicator. This is why I love this indicator. If you want this, you got to click the link below, go on the website, fill out the little indicator form. You do have to be part of the Discord, but I mean, this whole thing that we have here, as far as the indicators go, the PFE indicator, spots indicator, copy pat, and these are all cycle indicators that I made here. So here we have a blue circle, blue spot, and then we have that 40% rally. As soon as we crossed it, we've seen it happen time and time again. Right here, right here, right here. I mean, most of these instances are pretty powerful push to the upside using the 4 hour indicator. So really, really nice stuff. Okay, let's talk about AMC, and because there's a lot to talk about, man. Let's go ahead and pull up some of these things. Bed Bath and Beyond also up basically 300% since that bottom. And that's what I'm looking for here on AMC. So we're gonna talk about Ethereum Classic. So we're gonna pull up Ethereum Classic. And also we're gonna talk about that tweet I posted on like round 2, because well, Ethereum Classic right now is up from the bottom. Ethereum Classic. Let's go on this. Okay, 46%. Okay, so we're extremely close to having that same ratio return right now on the two. So now when you zoom out, though, you can clearly tell that the charts are the same. They're basically the same chart. One is delayed a little bit. We know that AMC follows. Ethereum Classic is leading the board here. So they both had this double bottom setup, you can call it a cup, and AMC rallied right after, right? So we had Ethereum Classic go first, and then 6 days later, AMC. So it's a clear correlation. I've been tracking this since March. It's helped me since March, and we're gonna continue to track it, man. I like the entire crypto market right now is having a rally, and I think we're gonna see this rally continue for a little while. A lot of altcoins are gonna start going up. They're gonna use this as liquidity for the markets here. We're gonna start to see AMC and all these meme stocks go up after it. That's just what I see happening. And now the market does have to hold for that to be the case. I did go over SPY. I went over SPY here last week, and I had said that my thoughts were that we were going to complete this sequence here and go all the way up to that 400 range. We haven't gotten there yet. Now, we are currently at a level of resistance, so this is going to be a huge test. We have to cross this in order for things to still be bullish here in the short term. So I'll show you a couple of patterns I was tracking, but one of them was the blue pattern on AMC. Gotta go on all these different charts here where I save everything. All right, so this is a bearish pattern. I'm going to show you guys the one that we were currently tracking. Blue pattern right here, bro. So you can see the structure of this pattern. Again, I pulled this up last week. We were down here, and this one basically is following through right now. We're not seeing a stop yet. It can stop around this range. That is true. But to me, it looks like we're trying to retest what is this level of resistance one more time, and I think we're going to get that full push to the upside. Once volatility kicks in the markets, premiums start to go up on options, they typically want to follow all the way up and touch another major level of resistance. So this is going to affect AMC. Like if we continue this rally, it's just going to be a little bit better for the chances of AMC going a little bit higher, at least in the short term. Also, we have a catalyst coming up, and when this does take place, Adam Aaron telling us when this reverse split is going to happen. Then we're going to find out a little bit more on when we can expect this rally to happen based on the previous stocks we've talked about, reverse split stocks that we talked about. And this all comes down to cycle analysis in the end, because we have to look and basically have a deadline, just like options work, a deadline on when that reverse split is going to take place and what can happen in between that time frame. So that's important here. That's why I'm waiting for this catalyst here, because I think we're gonna be able to sort of project what we can potentially expect based on this next move. And right now, this is looking positive for AMC. Obviously, we're up 40% the last 2 days, which is what we were expecting. So things are looking great, man. Things are looking great. All right, let's see. So we're trading at $5. Let's see what we can expect for the next couple of days. Tell you guys what my thoughts are on this pattern right now that we're tracking right now. So a couple of things with this pattern. Okay, this is you can look at this pattern in many different ways. But normally what we're looking at here is the initial pump, and then this could be two different things, but one of the things I tell the Discord here is that normally this pattern we see prior to a rally or a potential dump. Like this, just by looking at this right off the bat, I can tell that there's a point of interest going into tomorrow and Monday. I'm going to show you an example of this pattern here, okay? So let's go on. You guys stay updated here on crypto, gala, whatever you want to call it. I use a lot of these patterns for reference, guys, in the markets, but I'm going to show you where you can find this pattern, okay? So right before there's a big rally in the markets, we have the same sort of structure of this pattern, right? We have that initial volume kicking in. Normally this candle too is a pretty large candle, and then there's a massive wick that sort of hangs on this on that initial pump, right? Some volume comes down, and then there's just a shake off phase here. So it could be like a triple top setup, or it can be a quadruple top setup. And then these, so we've seen it at AMC. It's this arc pattern. It can look like that. There's many ways this pattern can look, and one can say, yo, that's just a flag or whatever. Sure, you can call it a flag too, but there's just so many versions of this pattern, and all of them normally have this point of interest at the end where we start to see a massive push to the upside or a dump. There's different versions of it, but let's go ahead and take this pattern and let's put it on the chart so I can show you. And I'm not going to rely on the actual push to the upside here. I just want to show you where we are here in this sort of like pattern here. So again, it's not the same pattern, but you can see the same structure. I'm going to go ahead and take away AMC here for a second. We're going to look at spots. We're going to pull it up on the 1 minute chart here, so we can see it a little bit better. Okay, so back to back 2. Here we go. We have the initial pump with volume, potentially a hanging wick. We have 1, 2, and then 3 right here. And then you see there's a fake out. There's one initial fake out, comes back down, and then it starts to rally. All right, so very similar structure of a pattern. Not all patterns are going to look exactly the same. This is just a different variation of that pattern. So why I'm tracking a potential push to the upside here next, this is just one. There's many other patterns that we can track based on this. Here's another one. I'll show you. This one probably looks a little bit better on AMC. But same thing. 1, 2, and then pump. Potentially something like that. So I'm not using this to track what AMC is going to do next, but I am using it just as a potential, just a reference pattern. That's what these all are. It's just part of looking at things from a cycle analysis approach, is looking at a lot of these different patterns to help us narrow down everything else. And the option chain is also looking really, really good, really interesting. You're starting to see a lot of buys for the February as well as these January contracts that are coming in here soon. There's a lot expiring, out of the money on both the put and the call side. Normally, the way that works for hedging purposes is you do have to come up. Again, with max pain, I don't rely too much on what the max pain is, but max pain is a thing. But I don't rely on that specific number because that does change every single day. So it's just something to look at and track, see how many options are in the chain, but not something to rely on based on what data that they're giving you, right? All right, a couple of other things. So one of the POIs that we just tracked here on AMC, this was Mara, and I'm going to show you guys something. So a lot of different things here with tracking this. So this was a POI we tracked way down here on the 2nd of January, before we started to see this volume kicking in. This was using the pattern scanner that is coming out soon. And here is the projection. You can see this on the website as well. We have trend line, support resistance coming down. And this was a little projection that I had. You can see it followed through completely, and now it's crossing resistance. So this is a break at resistance. Now, we are on the 2-hour chart, so what this is telling me here is now that we crossed resistance, and we're headed to a new level of resistance, is this going to hold and continue fake out, or is it going to come back down and start pushing to retest levels of support on the way down? That is, at these levels, I don't play too much with the charts because anything can really happen here. We can see Mara open up at 10 or, open up at even 8 or 9 tomorrow with the push it's getting now and the push crypto's getting now. But this is why this video is called Cycle Rotation, because we are looking at other stocks in the market, other cryptos in the market, and comparing that to AMC, how they sort of change with each other, this liquidity, the market makers and institutions that are shorting both. They do take turns in the market. That's how the market works. And we do have a correlation here with Mara going first here on most markets, crypto markets, and then you have basically everything else go little by little. So this is what starts off the memes. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull up AMC on top. All right, similar charts. Okay, but you can even see back here, prior to this move, Mara had a push up 250, 60%, and then right as it starts dump, that initial dump that it gets here, okay, what happens? Well, not only do you have a dump here on Mara, you have a dump on crypto, you have a dump on the entire market, which becomes a fake out. This became a fake out in the market. And then you have a massive rally on AMC as well. It didn't go up 200%, but AMC did go up 100. So this is just one. I'm showing you here. We can go way back. Prior to the January cycle. And we see the same thing, right? We have Mara going first. It dumps, massive dump. And then you have AMC, GameStop, all the other meme stocks go with it. So there's a correlation here with crypto stocks and meme stocks changing this liquidity, which just proves the point here on Ethereum Classic even more. It's just supporting that. All right. Man, this is what I do on these videos. So I go back and I update everything. I update it as if I'm like we're looking at the same thing, and then I'm trying to come up with these things we've talked about here in the past. So I want to pay attention to the spots indicator here again, and I want to pay attention to the same box that we keep updating, okay? And why this is good. Why this is freaking crazy, okay? Watch this. This is what blew me today, man. Or actually yesterday. It's just I haven't gone live, so I haven't talked about it. But on the 4-hour chart, which I highly recommend using, AMC 4-hour chart is really, really nice. I'm trying to find a box here. Yo, give me a box. I'm always lost here. Okay, we're paying attention to this right here. Okay? We're going to pull it up also on this side. And we are going to talk about these spots. So, I don't know if you guys, I don't need you to see the background here. this. So, all right, so same box, same time frame, just a different time period. Or a time window, just a different time period is what it is. All right, we have a blue spot crossed. Now look at the specific pattern we have here on the spots indicator. We have a pink, a quick blue, so that means that there is a pink curve crossing blue, and then a cancellation here. So it's a fake out coming back pink, right? Then it rides the trade wave, it rides the way back down, and then it crosses blue, and we have some volume kicking in here, okay? So now that we talked about this, let's go ahead and pull back January 2021. And let's look at the similarities between the two, right? We have that first blue cross comes back up. Here we have a bit of saturation. Okay, when there's saturation, you just let it ride the curve. Comes back down, pink cross. Here we have the same pattern again. It's a pink, blue, and then pink again. Rides the wave back down, and then it crosses blue. And this is where we start to see some volume kicking in, more volume kicking in. Take a look at the volume down here. All right, we have about 4 large wicks within this time frame, and then massive volume kicking in. All right, before this rally. Come back here to the current chart. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4 large candles. And then we're starting to see some volume kicking in, right? So this is the whole thing with this, guys, is the correlation between the two is very strong. All right, and you can clearly see that. I can take this pattern again and pull it up and show you guys how similar these patterns also look back to back together. Where you initially got the cross, which was prior to the mini projector pattern we had, you had a cross, and then it starts to push back up very quickly. Same thing right here. All right. Cross, and now we're expecting a push back up. Let's see, take away spots. All right. Cross. It's like we're about to create this projector pattern. Now, because we're entering the point of interest, this is where it becomes interesting, because we can follow this whole sequence up to a certain point. We can stop here, and this can drag out for a little bit because we're not quite at the point of interest yet. The point of interest starts end of January going into February. So here's the cycle. You can see it right here. This is where we would start to see that massive volume kicking in. But it is a range. So depending on what structure we end up building here in the end, that's what we're going to find out if this is just the start coming here on the red portion of the cycle. This is just a start playing out inverse, and then us coming into what is the POI range right here, end of January. All right, so let's take a look at the cycle now, because this is where it's going to get even crazier. Watch this, all right? Some of you don't think the cycle works, and it's like, yo, that doesn't look anything like this, right? All right, watch this, bro. We're gonna start here on the blue pattern so you guys can see the blue pattern if you're familiar with how the cycle works. Now we're gonna color this the same color. I think it's that one. And then we're gonna take this, okay, up to this point, because this is where it starts to play out inverse again, and we're gonna do the same color down here. Now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip these, all right, so that they're inverse, because like patterns track inverse here, okay? So we're just gonna do this. All right, right there. We're gonna bring it down here, okay? You starting to see that? All right, and then we're gonna take this, we're gonna flip it as well. Did I flip it? No, I didn't flip it. Here it is flipped. At 3, there it is. And there is that. Do you guys see that? Okay, this right here, guys, is the cycle. All right, this is AMC's cycle. It's 62 days, 2 months, and it repeats itself every time, right? There are some cycles where you're going to see more accuracy than others, but this one we could clearly see that it's an inverse version of the blue pattern and the red pattern here. And now what's happening is we're starting to see this play out identical again here, which could mean that we are so we've seen it play out right here on this part of the cycle. We've seen it play out identical, and then it starts to play out inverse again, and I'll show you where that happened. Also, AMC is going pretty ham right now. It's up, so we're gonna have to like go back at it. But so here we have a similar sort of situation going on. We have it starts to play out identical here, right? It starts to go back up, and then it starts to rally. So we can kind of take this for reference on AMC, and then see that this is where things started to really climb back down because we had an inverse point of interest. So it starts to it just shut down basically. But here's a projector. Here's the little projector we talked about. Go watch Pink Pattern. It's a video I posted last year, I'm pretty sure. And you can see right here, this is just the inverse version of that pattern. And that's basically what we have here. I mean, it's just a parabolic move to the upside here, potentially hitting that $9 range. I mean, that could happen here in the next couple of days. We go up to 9 and then we trade sideways. I mean, the price levels we talked about here when we pulled up the parallel channel were going to be, for AMC only, was going to be right around that $20 range. So it would make sense that we make a projector, and then going into the point of interest, right? Projector pattern. Going into the point of interest, we start to shoot up, right? And then we hit the $20 level, and then we have the reverse split, and then things get shut down, right? That's just, again, I'm getting ahead of myself here, but that is kind of what I'm leaning towards right now based on what's happening, based on what I've seen with the other cycles. And I mean, AMC keeps going up, dude. We're up 5% today. Potentially going to be up another, maybe another bit, man. Another good bit tomorrow. So I'm excited for that. Let's see, how's Bed Bath & Beyond looking? It's up 60% today. Yeah, it's wow. Well, guys, this is good for AMC as well. These trade on very similar. Look at this. Look, didn't I just talk about this too? Bro, look, I'm going to paste it here. I'm pretty sure it's on the same. Yep, here it is. Look at that. I'm telling you guys, this is why pattern analysis is like freaking superior, bro. Here it is. Here's the same fucking pattern, bro. Look. 1, 2, rally. All right. This is crazy, bro. Potential levels to track here based on this. Pretty crazy shit, man. Okay, well, yeah, dude. Bed Bath & Beyond up 60% right now. I personally, I'm not in on Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm in on AMC. I will say that. But Bed Bath & Beyond is, with where the levels hit. I mean, this was a stock that fell quite a lot. I mean, it fell from 30 all the way back down. You can see that this is definitely an overdue move. AMC is also building up to do that, but see, AMC has this kind of structure. So as these guys are covering, Okay, they sort of let it ride down before covering that big sort of rally, right? These guys take turns in between, and Bed Bath and Beyond has been a pretty insane, stock, very profitable, if you know how to play it. But yeah, man, wow, 60%. That's pretty insane. So let's hope Amy's next for, because they do track on the same POI dates, both Bed Bath and Beyond and AMC, GameStop, BlackBerry, Nikola, all of these guys they track on the same one. Nikola is also up today. There's a couple of different patterns I'm tracking. Here, let's do it on this one. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about this, man. Nikola right now is up 2.53%. Look at this. You guys won't believe where I freaking got this pattern either, bro. I think I have it on this one too. Is it on this one? Yeah, bro. Man, I was so this you guys will not believe where this pattern came from, bro. Like, watch this. My guy. This is SPY intraday chart. See this pattern right here? It's just inverse. So, because a lot of these meme stocks behave similarly to the VIX, and the SPY is basically the inverse VIX, right? You're going to have a lot of these patterns happen on AMC, on Nikola, and all these, very volatile stocks that get suppressed and then have a massive rally to the upside. So here you can see that it sort of creates that similar setup that Bed Bath & Beyond had prior to the move. That first move it had in August of 2022. Very similar, it's just a different structure, different version of that pattern. So this is what I'm using as one of the patterns I'm tracking for Nikola. But I've been tracking so many. And then also the volatility on Nikola is insane, implied volatility. And that's something I read a lot here prior to these bigger moves that we have. Nikola has been, bro, look at this chart. There's really not much to say about Nikola. I think Nikola is definitely, if a stock is overdue for a run, I say Nikola is one of the ones that is overdue, way overdue. This is from $93 all the way down to $2 since 2020, June of 2020. So it's another one that is part of this meme basket. Also, you can see AMC, okay, overlaid together. All the points of interest we've seen. We do have rallies as well on Nikola. Kind of have to stretch the chart here so you can see it a little bit better. Same fucking POIs. Okay, go up and down together at the same time. So if AMC is expecting some upside, then I'm expecting upside on Nikola. It's just how we're going to track it. That's why Bed Bath & Beyond is going up right now also. That's why, GameStop is going up. So here's that pattern. And we could, these are valid levels to track also. We have our high here, that first high, and then even this part of it, we're basically hitting all these levels to a T. So, one of the levels I was tracking on Nikola initially was the $5 range, but this is calling for the $8 range. And Nikola has so much more room to go, in my opinion. This thing got shorted from 90 all the way down to 2. And it took, it's going on almost 3 years. So you can only imagine, man. Go on the FTD website and look at the FTDs as well. I don't rely too much on the dates. Again, I'm not a date kind of person that likes to rely on that stuff, but I do I do think that having a lot of failures to deliver is definitely implying that there are shorts on the stock, and that's a bullish thing for me. Um, this right here looks so much like what's that stock that we just talked about? Was it Metamaterials or Support.com? Let's see. Support.com is now Gree, which Gree is also having a rally. Yeah, similar structure right here. Goes up, boom, pumps, dumps. Tilray, also meme. Yeah, Tilray, man. Cannabis stocks are also part of this massive meme thing. Yeah, that's true. Party City is also one of them. Okay, pump dump. How is everything else looking? Okay, SPY did come down a little bit. So for those that want some analysis here on SPY, the one thing I'm tracking right now, and this has been a pretty powerful push to the upside. A couple of things can happen based on this. I'm gonna pull up for reference. I'm gonna pull up AMC because one of the things I caught earlier that is looking pretty sort of promising here on like what SPY is doing, but I don't think that the market here is like once it reaches this level here, even where it's currently trading at, it can fall. But I think we still have a little bit more room to go. 405 is my target. One of the things that I'm still tracking here is, and I want to show you guys this pattern here. So we have the initial fake out here on SPY, comes up, comes back down. That's the fake out, and then we have this rally right here. So on SPY, it's going to look a little bit different. We could see a pump tomorrow, and we finish off this same sort of pattern. This is the Bitcoin pattern. It comes up, and it creates this Elliott wave. So followed by an ABC correction, impulse wave. You got 1, 3 being your largest one, and then 4, 5 does something like this. And then it's followed by a correction, and the correction normally looks something like that, right? That's your typical Bitcoin pattern. This is, the Bitcoin pattern does it once, it comes down, and then it does it again, and then it starts falling, right? And Bitcoin's right here right now. It's like going up. So what is this going to do here, and how would this structure look on the current chart? Well, again, we talked about resistance, and we're trying to cross that here on both the blue pattern. We've seen it does cross and then comes and tests it back down one more time before either continuing a bullish rally or trading sideways again, which that would be getting ahead of ourselves. But it is something to track. 4 hours good on the spots. I have been using the daily to spot this here, which we are getting very close to. Daily spots indicator is about to cross, and let me just show you what's happened to every cross, man. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of math. All right. Pink cross, it falls 10%. Blue cross, up 6. Pink, 12. Okay, pink here. Well, pink 12 is actually pink. This one is actually 18. Blue, 12, pink, 13. I mean, look, bro, 8. Very small. Do you see how it's narrowing down? Okay, 11. Okay, this one should be a little bit greater. So these are both like canceled out. This is where it starts. 18, 12, basically the same. 8, 4. It's like narrowing down, and then it's either going to pop or it's going to go back down again. But look at how close we are to crossing. We're probably going to cross tomorrow. Once we finish off the day here today, we might get that blue spot here, and then that might kick us off to touch that 405 range. And if we keep going up, that's where I will be looking at resistance, because, 410, we can see it come back down and retest resistance on the way back down. This trend line on the way back down, crossing, testing resistance again, and then we'll see what happens here. But yo. I said this last week. Dow Jones already did it. Okay. Crossed it, fell back down, and then now it's pushing. Dow Jones actually just crossed a blue spot and then a potential continuation here. Man, wow, these are just... It's crazy, man. Sometimes you do have to just look at some of these other indices, because they do bring out a different sort of approach and perspective in the market. And just looking at SPY is not the right thing to do. We need to look at Dow Jones. We need to look at NASDAQ. We need to look at SPY. We have NASDAQ right here, also getting very close to just touching here and then crossing this again. On the weekly chart, we already crossed on a lot of these. So look at how it's writing this. The weekly chart is very powerful, by the way. Weekly chart, SPY. Okay, we do have a cross, but this is where it gets interesting, because when you have a lot of saturation here and there's multiple spots, it's best to just let it ride and do its thing. Now, look at how close we are, bro, to crossing this, man. Again, it's like blue, pink, and we're about to cross again, bro. So you can only imagine what that can do here. We've only crossed it since 2020. We had a blue cross, and then right as soon as we got that pink cross, SPY fell 22%, which is big for SPY, by the way. Let's see what this looks like on AMC. Here, we gotta watch. Okay, we just talked about this on the 4-hour chart and the daily chart and the correlation. Now, do you see this again? We have blue to pink. Blue, pink right here. Comes back down, comes back into and outside the pink curve, which we're in right now. And then now this is the weekly chart, so we're not going to get this candle yet, but we're trading at this range right now. So just imagine if we do cross, probably not this week, but I would see it happening next week and the week after that, having a full cross to the upside on the weekly chart. Oh my bro, this is crazy. Okay, this is getting me pumped. My. Yeah, this is looking pretty insane, dude. Just the correlation, man. The correlation, bro. Blue. Look at that. What the fuck, man? Bro, like it's one thing to just look at patterns, but we're looking at indicators here, okay? And we're more than anything, we're looking at spot, like a cycle indicator. All right? Dude, what the hell, man? Like this isn't even like, you know, I try really hard, man, like when I do these analysis to be very clear with my point and what I'm looking at. Sometimes, yeah, things don't play out the way they're intended to, but th- the analysis here, it's about how promising it looks, and this to me looks very promising. I mean, there's a lot of things we're talking about here, man, with AMC and the cycle, and this being one of them. It's too hard to ignore something like this, where we're currently at in the cycle, that we're coming up to a point of interest that we've seen in the past before here in January, right? We're talking 2 years of data. We're coming down to support again, touching support. We're starting to see all these other, stocks coming up and on the way back up. I mean, dude, we're basically in this projector pattern on the weekly chart that, sure, we've seen on every possible level of resistance. I mean, I talked about this projector pattern here on every single point of interest, and unfortunately, we saw a huge dip on AMC, this much, right? But a projector pattern sometimes looks like this, man. It comes up, touches support again, and then it starts to rally, right? There's so many variations of that. Yes, this is AMC. I like that trade in the trader in the trays battle of 501. That's interesting. Yeah, it could be battle of 501. Wow. Yeah, this is like a chart I need a frame here, bro. I mean, dude. And this is why I take away the candles, because, well, it's AMC plus 8. I take away the candles on purpose so that you can clearly see where the spots are. Man. And dude, this looks like a good chart to me. Look at this. This is just me looking at the charts. Like, bro, weekly chart here. Hear me out, man. What is this, dude? Bro. Dude. $24. Now watch this. Going back on the 4-hour. And we can pull up. Oh, damn, I'm on the wrong chart. Okay. Do it on this one. Yes, that megaphone, man. That megaphone. It's like a smaller megaphone, but it's there. Here's the parallel channel. And look at this, guys. Here is the projection that I made on AMC. You can also track this on TradingView here on the web, on Trading with Emotions on TradingView. You can follow me on there and track this. Here's a projection. Here are the levels. Look, 24, right? $24 is the level of resistance. Now, let's draw just this line here so we can see it. And let's take everything else away. And now let's come back to that weekly thing I just pulled up. Just 24. From there, this is what it looks like. But we have a cone set up, so it's actually like this. That's why we have that projection. Because now what this is doing is it's bouncing off of these walls and doing something like this. Bro, this is trippy actually, man. Look, I'm gonna make some shapes. I'm gonna trip you guys out. We have this right here. We're in a pyramid. We're in this pyramid, bro, and we're gliding on this sort of like right wall. And this is a pattern, and this is what they said. Yo, we gotta go all the way up here, color this guy in, take away AMC. That's what we got. This is AMC right here, dude. Yeah. And it just bleeds right over all the way on top like that. That looks pretty good to me, man. Okay, so, and then for this, I'm going to take away the wicks because they just kind of ruin everything. And you can clearly see it with the wicks too, man. The wicks, without the wicks, you can see it. It's clearly touching all of these levels, right? Yeah, the weekly chart, man, is a powerful, powerful chart. So it looks like we closed at 502. Yeah, AMC closed at 502. So look at that, man. That's really good. Let's go ahead and pull up the daily chart and see how this candle closed. Let's also bring back the wicks because this is where they matter. And now let's go back here and sort of here. I'm gonna do something so we can actually look at this pattern. I'm gonna take a screenshot. And I'm gonna bring this back over here so we can actually overlay it and see how it looks. So now we have this little guy over here. Let's make sure that it looks the same. Okay, there we go. And now, like, what I'm trying to understand here are, like, the wick patterns. So it seems like we would be somewhere in here. Like, I don't think we would be here quite yet, because if you look at the same ratio levels, this is basically that double bottom cup right down here, which is this. So if that was the case, man, we would probably see some kind of a gap up, maybe a gap up here, and then a continuation going into February, right? It almost seems like we're not. It almost seems like we're here. But again, this is considered resistance in January, and this is that cup. So I don't think so. I think we're here. We're way down here. I mean, look at, bro. January. Here we got January of 2021. All right. And this is current. And then this is what happens right after that. All right, I'm going to show you guys one more thing. Take these away here for a sec. But I also want you to pay attention to, and this is where I'm going to pull up a moving average. And, or we can do it with spots too, actually. Yeah, spots. So not only are the spots here accurate, now I'm on a different time frame, the daily chart. We can clearly see the same thing, right? Blue, pink, blue, pink. We haven't had the cross yet on the daily chart, but we're getting very close. You see it's coming down. We're getting closer and closer. So prior to this, what happened on AMC? We have a double top setup. So that same M shape that I talk about prior to a volatility zone. And what do we have over here? Right, M shape. We have an M shape right here, bro. I mean, bro, come on, man. Are they messing with us? No. This is just, it's just more confirmation. More confirmation. Here's that same sort of shape. It's a little bit bigger. Probably looks like that. And now we have ourselves basically a match, bro. Because everything else shows it, man. Everything else is showing it. And this is just, man. Would you just look at it, bro? Would you just look at it, man? Yeah, it's right here. It's right here. It's right in front of you. Oh, man. This is tickling my little confirmation bias, you know? The tickles. But that's good. I mean, you need some in the market. You really do. I mean, or else what's you're not just guessing, right? You need to have something. You need to be looking at something, and if that looks good to you and it works, then it works. And that's what it is. Right? God, this is looking so good. And oh man, these moves that we're getting every day, like 20%, up 40% from the bottom, and just going. Not stopping, man. I'm telling you, what did we just see Mara do? All right. What did we just see Mara do? Mara is on a non-stop, bro. This thing just hit $7, bro. All right. Crossed. Look, on the blue spot here also. Blue spot. You got a pink spot. It comes all the way down. On the blue cross, this thing freaking rallies. 100%, dude. Man. Wow. All right, let's see how Amy ended the day. Let's go ahead and go back on the 1 minute. Let's see, do I still have that pattern? No. Yeah, Amy's looking so good, bro. Yeah, let's pull up CopyPat now, because CopyPat is going to show us projections here. So I can adjust this by messing with the length. Do 200. Okay, 200 is giving us that. every single time frame here is going to give you something different. I don't rely on what the projections are. I don't rely on the direction. I only rely for it to give me a better perspective. That's it. This is like art. Copycat is, it's basically taking the historical values of that pattern you're tracking, and it's displaying something based on those values, so that it looks somewhat similar. And yeah, copycat is accurate a lot of times, but it's not meant to be a tool to forecast something. For example, here, this makes absolutely no sense. This is going down to a penny, or right, like less than a penny on the 3 hour, right? Like that's not something I would be a fan of here. You keep switching it, and it's going to give you something different, right? 6 hour gives you that. Daily's giving you something else. See, so these are meant to just keep tracking that sort of next version and see if that fits with your analysis in the end. But I don't really rely on these. This is why the forecast length here is only 50. It shouldn't be 200, because then you get too much data, and it's not how it works. You have limited data. I put 500. Okay. 50 is good. 5 minute. 15 minute. I like the 15 minute a lot. Let's see. 15 minute. And let's do 100. All right. This thing just wants to keep going up. Any resistance here? 200. That is a power move, man. Let's see. 10 minute. Let's add 10 minutes here. 10 minute looks pretty good. For the first push to the upside. $30-minute. I don't like the 1 hour. See, this is what I'm saying, guys. You pull it up, you pull it back, and then you get a pattern like this. Not that this is like impossible, but it's not really likely with something playing out this way. This pattern seems super like orchestrated and structured. For it to just fall back down like this just looks so fake. It looks so fake to me. There's no nothing on the way back down, so this is not a pattern I'm a fan of, obviously. You keep changing it. It gives you other stuff. 4 hour. No. 3 minute. All right, so let's go ahead and take this out now and just look at AMC's plain old pattern. Go back on the 30-minute. See what we got. I'm going to go way back to January. So where I said we could potentially be at here would be somewhere in this range. It doesn't have to look the same at all. This is just a cup, is what it is. But see, how much did we rally back here from the bottom? 19%. 40%. Oh, we might actually not. We might be over here then, because, well, 40%, we are looking at percentages as a factor in this. So initially, before creating this tiny projector that we have here, we did rally 80%, which is what we saw with with Mara first, but no, Mara went all the way up to 100 too. Oh, I was gonna pull up this bro. I forgot about this. Okay, so I want to pay attention to another. This is a fractal though. It's not a pattern, so we're not using this. We're using a different set. I was just looking at the chart, and I was just paying attention to this, the structure of this pattern here, from the peak, from the top. So the reason why I'm drawing a lot of lines here is so we can see it, smooth it out here a little bit. So this is basically this right here. You can see the same thing, right? We have that initial pump here. It's a point of interest. It comes down, trades sideways, comes back up again, and then falls back down to hit that bottom before making that projector pattern. So yeah, see that? This is just another way to look at it. On the way back down, and then here, this is why it's important to track this, because you can already see here this, right? It's coming back up to this level, and this is where you have a little bit of resistance. I will say that once we come up to that $6 range, we might have a little bit of resistance. Today, I was a little bit skeptical because the market was trading sideways, and it seemed like we might come down to the potentially the $4 range, but we actually traded sideways, which was good. I think what we did today was really good in setting us up to continue to go up tomorrow. So what this would be calling for here is basically after the 20th, after all these options expire, you have a lot of stocks in the market do this, man. Like they will get rid of those options. They're basically worthless now, and then they take that opportunity to rally the stock now that they have less options to worry about, which is why I also think we're going to have this rally here on the reverse split, because they're going to make new options, man. They're going to make new options, and then the old ones are going to be useless. That's what happens with the ape launch. I pushed this out like crazy. I was like, yo, these new non-standard options, they're going to take a hit. And they did, man. They did. Right now, they're taking a hit. They're really, unless they're in the money, they're not really valuable. There's no demand for those. So, when this reverse split happens, the same thing is going to go down. Now we're going to have three options on the chain for a little bit at least before they all come back to one. Ape comes back, merges again with AMC as one. And then those options, once they do expire, then we will be dealing with a normal standard option chain. But that won't happen for a little bit because we have to wait for the expiration dates for those non-standard options. So, yeah, a lot of things, man. Here's that, and then going based off of we just looked at back here too. This was the other pattern that we talked about. You can already see the similarities between them. Now, initially here, what we have is we do have a greater push to the upside. This one drags out a little bit, and I actually like this one a little bit better because, and why we're only paying attention to that first initial push, and then that drags on and sort of creates its own pattern on the way up. I like this one because it comes up, it tests resistance, gets rejected, and then this is where we test, and we have that full push through, which lines up with the actual macro point of interest that we're tracking here around mid-February. So that's why I like this one a little bit better. AMC, all AMC contracts will take a hit. on after the split, in my opinion. It's not something that anybody can really. This is just from experience. This happened with both stocks that I pulled up, Metamaterials and what was support.com at the time. Both of them had the their option chain basically became worthless after the split because they create new options and then there's a lack of demand for the old options. They become non-standard options. Now, if they are in the money, it works a little bit differently. But most of the time, because they're illiquid, they become they're less attractive to retail and they're less attractive to investors. And there's no demand, man. So that at that point you have greater bid and ask sizes, which means that you might not even get filled for your position, or there's a large gap can affect those contracts. So I don't mess with that. But yes, once the split takes place, we're gonna see something like 1 to 10 AMC. That's what they're gonna call it, maybe 1 to 10 on reverse split. Yeah, AMC 1 is already non-standard, right? But those are the ones that have were affected. Right now, if you go to the option chain, go look at the volume for today. I mean, there's very little volume on any contracts. You see some with 10, some with 15, whereas you go to the normal option chain and you have 2,000, 5,000, 500. A lot more volume on those. Alrighty, guys, we are gonna leave it here for today. I will be live tomorrow and sort of update the charts then. But so far, everything is looking good for Amy. I'm excited. I think things are going to be pretty interesting here in the next couple days. I keep saying that, but dude, the more this plays out, the better the chances, right? And this is where we start and continue to check things off. This is already day 3 of us just checking things off in the market, so it's looking um, more and more likely that something like this might play out again, like we've seen here in March and August, both POIs in the market here. So pretty cool stuff. Alrighty, we'll leave it there. Click the link below. Join up on that Discord, guys. If you want to check out all these indicators that I have, the spots indicator, PFV, and also copy pat, and you get to join the Discord, right? Pretty cool stuff. So yeah, join up. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Have a great rest of your night. Fucking love you, man. Bye-bye.